Slice Night Tour Guide, Beach Llama. Follow the magic stick. Aruba is an autonomous representative democracy within a constitutional monarchy, and as such, every citizen has the freedom of religion amongst other rights. Although the island is 80% Catholic, there's about 50 plus different religions, denominations, beliefs, you name it, we got it. The establishment of Catholicism as a predominant religion stems with the arrival of the Spanish settlers towards the end of the 15th century. The conquistadors were accompanied by missionaries who would spread the faith and convert the indigenous populace as they conquered land in the name of the Spanish Empire. To ease the process of conversion and facilitate communication, the mission would also incorporate a baptized indigenous guide, either a member of, friend, or ally to the Caquetillo, the main indigenous population living on Aruba from 1000 AD till around the early 1500s. A frequently asked question on tour is, if Aruba is part of the Dutch kingdom, how did Catholicism become the main faith and not Protestantism? Long story short, by the time the Dutch arrived in 1636, the Spanish had already held possession of the island in one way, shape, or form for 135 years, giving the Catholic faith ample time to propagate and find stable footing among the island's indigenous and Spanish Creole inhabitants. Now that we got that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the Alto Vista Chapel. Nestled on the northern shore of the island, isolated but easily accessible, Alto Vista Chapel lays watch over the coast that touches the Caribbean Sea. The chapel and its surrounding area is pristine and mystical, festooned with cacti and boulders murmuring about days past and days to come. It's a place where one can take the time to forget about time, escape from the grind in moments of serenity to reflect, meditate, pray, or just be. According to research, there was a small Caquetillo village surrounding the vicinity of Alto Vista Hill. Legend has it that the place where the chapel now stands was sacred and was used for rituals and ancient traditions now long forgotten. Records of the official date of the chapel's construction is hazy, but we do know it was consecrated on April 20th, 1750 as the Chapel of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. We also know it was built by Domingo Antonio Silvestre on what was then part of his property. The original structure was presumably made from limestone topped with maize stalk roofing. Not much is known about Domingo Silvestre, only that he came from Venezuela and lived in Alto Vista. Guided by his piety and love for the faith, he took it upon himself to build a place of worship where the ever-growing congregation, mostly of indigenous persuasion, would gather for catechism and to say rosary. A place where missionary priests from the mainland could give mass, baptize aka convert said believers by choice rather than persuasion, perform the sacraments of confirmation and marriage, and also propagate the doctrine of Christ's universal church. All in all, the cradle of Arubian Catholicism. There is a common misconception among locals that the current Alto Vista Chapel is the oldest religious building. This is not true. The current edifice is a renovation built where the old chapel used to stand. It was erected and consecrated in 1952. The oldest religious building is the church on the bay in Playa, commonly known as Kerkie Protestant or Kerkie 1846. If you're wondering, the chapel is still in use and has mass every Tuesday afternoon at 5 p.m. and every first Saturday of the month at 7 a.m. Now, before you freak out, the crosses that adorn the roadside on the way to the chapel represent the 14 stations of the Passion of Jesus Christ, commonly known as the Way of the Cross, a step-by-step reenactment of Jesus' conviction, crucifixion, and death. Now, the tour guide has to be honest with you and mention that the chapel is actually not an attraction, even though it has been marketed as such for the past 60 years. It is, as stated earlier, a place of serenity to reflect, meditate, pray, or just be. So that's why whenever you visit Alto Vista, keep your decibel levels low, dress appropriately, and leave those beer bottles in the jug. And please act respectfully. Guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Links to our previous episodes, social media platforms, and website are in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to G's Pahari YouTube and click that notification bell for more Slice Night content. As always, once a guest, always a friend. Slice Night Tour Guide, Beach Llama.